Yep, connecting. We are back. That is great to see. I always love coming back to all you pretty people. I was writing to you in chat, but I wanna say, you know, uh, I really hope we get to see the Germany Japan deck now. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's time to test the metal of this deck and see if it can compete against the best.
Yeah. We're just waiting to get our signal back up, so we can see all the action that is happening. But for everybody that is watching, who do you think is gonna win? Um, in this second match, I really think that we're gonna be seeing. Yeah, there we go. No, 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 Germany, Japan. Now it is the British deck from
No
Darkness,
Germany, Japan.
the same old Moscow deck. Let's see if it works out better for Lucky Spike this time around. Okay, against Lucky Spike here, playing Moscow, I'd feel pretty good playing my Pioneer turn 1.
Yeah, I think it's safe.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about flop Panzers.
And there's no, I'm just looking at Lucky Spike's deck list here. There's no hammers either.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting.
So really no way to deal with the Pioneers.
Yeah, Lucky Spike already kind of lagging behind a little bit, especially given what Darkness has played so far, and he's able to get the convoy off there. Plus, I won't be able to do it next turn, but pretty soon he'll be able to play that special delivery as well and really have that honey start doing work. Cuban Cossacks coming out, allowing Lucky Spike to put a little bit of pressure on the board. 15th motor rifles in hand. What an excellent time to pick up that honey. That's going to be a really good turn 5 for Darkness there. Honey special delivery.
Yeah, and he's, it's Darkness is kind of getting the ball rolling here with his life gain and card draw. And with decks like this, it's just gonna snowball and pile up, and it's gonna take him pretty much out of range to be killed.
Yeah, I'm already a little bit worried for Lucky Spike this game. That's gonna yield 6 HP, and he picked up another convoy. It's really interesting. Is he running? How many convoys is his Darkness running, and how many special deliveries? Is he running 2 and 2?
So he has 2 convoys, and special delivery is only 1.
Okay, interesting.
2 and 1, yeah.
I think the special delivery might be a sneaky resistance counter.
Yeah, special delivery is definitely a resistance counter, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally is. No resistance in this tournament, though. But even that aside, it's just so darn efficient at what it does. 3 credits for 3 cards, and you can kind of build your deck in a way that you won't really be discarding a lot of your hand to it. So it's just basically a 3 credit mobilization.
Yeah, what an insane turn for Darkness. Yeah, that was a really, really good turn for him, picking up that Monty. He's got that We Can Do It in hand as well, and Lucky Spike will have to use his entire turn to critical hit that Pioneer. I think that's worth it. I think it was worth it because he wouldn't have been able to do that next turn after Darkness played We Can Do It, which I expected him to do. But now, if we look at these 2 hands, both guys have 2 Avengers in hand. But I feel like if I were to choose one hand to have a hold of right now, I'd want to be Darkness.
At this point, I think I tend to agree with you. I'm just looking over Darkness's deck list here, and he's getting so much HP. but he's not running Commonwealth, which is very interesting. You would think this would be perfect just to slide in a Commonwealth there for a sneaky 20 damage.
Yeah.
And no, it looks like no Rule Britannia either.
You know, I
Very
really
strange.
like this from Lucky Spike, pushing his units up into the front line, wanting to try and kind of lock darkness in with those 4 units on the board. I would expect him to push up the armored train next turn if he can as well. Just
Right.
given the
Yeah. Get in his face.
yeah, and I mean, just given the damage numbers that are on board for darkness at the moment, it's going to be really hard for him to deal with that armored train because of the heavy armor on it. You know, even there, I think this is still pretty good for Lucky Spike. He's able to push it into the front line, the armored train, and we're actually not. Darkness is not able to deal with it. He's not able to kill it. He can only do 2 damage to it.
That's right.
What he could do? Well, no, he can't even RAF it to push it back because he can't play another unit and he can't kill himself on either of these units. So this really puts darkness in a bind.
That's a
For the
bind.
next
And
turn.
look, another unit off the top, 9 units in hand, and no way to deploy them.
That was some great play and great presence of mind for Lucky Spike there to recognize that spending his credits to push his units up was more important. And I think that is a huge point of skill when it comes to cards, is really understanding when to use your resources on deploying units or orders, and when you use them and operate them.
Yeah, absolutely. It is this sort of fine balance of, you know, what should you build up your board, or should you go face, or when to move up your unit, or when to play your big order. It's all definitely a delicate balance, and
Hellcat. I want him
depending
to
on.
play. I want him to play the Hellcat. Get the Hellcat up into the front line. Make it harder for him to take it. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I mean Hellcat is okay. It just the thing with Hellcat is he could just trade his 2/1 into it, right?
No, but he's not able to kill the armored train.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he can run. Oh man, getting rid of a flying fortress there. But so now, since moving up the 2/3, now Darkness can deploy some more of his units here.
Yeah, but again, I mean, yes, he managed to deploy a unit there, but he's still struggling with that armored train. Now he Lucky Spike really needs to deal with that Avenger, right? And I guess that's going to be his problem now, is dealing with that Avenger.
Well,
Kind of fail.
this is where the Hellcat could come in nicely here. If he can find a way to get rid of that Black Watch, the Hellcat is a nice clean answer to the Avenger.
Okay, opting to go that route.
He's gonna Ural here. Okay.
All right. I can get behind that. That does put a little bit more frontline pressure, still limiting the number of unit spots that Darkness can make use of. Shelling, a great pickup there for Darkness, though.
Yeah, that's a nasty draw right there. It allows him to shelling and then use his Avenger to kill probably the OT-34 and then finish off the armored train, or either combination of. I'm not sure which unit he would want to go for first. I'm assuming probably the train and then the OT, actually, to stop the spawning of 1/1s.
Yeah. I'd be interested. You know, I would think it would be pretty interesting if he doesn't play Shelling here, because yeah, it does have such a huge impact, because it gives him 2 turns to deal with that front line with that Avenger, and makes it really difficult for Lucky Spike to actually deal with to kill it. Playing the Black Watch there as well to keep it guarded, I think that's a smart play. And lucky for him, I mean, well, unlucky for him, he only hit 1 order in the hands of Lucky Spike, but that's a 5 credit Bloody Sickle. I mean, do you really want to play a 5-credit Bloody Sickle ever?
No, no. I mean, it's effectively a dead card right now. Just and even losing a credit from the shelling as well, hurting Lucky Spike's overall economy.
Yeah.
That's
That was a rough
that's no
one.
joke either. Yeah.
And that was a rough one for him. I mean, the only thing he could do there was play that B-17 and hope to hit that Avenger. Didn't work out for him though, and he's gonna be Avengered right back. That B-17 off the field as soon as it came in, and that armored train gone. And now he's starting to lose grip on this game a little bit. Full board clear there by Darkness. Really efficient. Using all his credits, getting rid of all the units.
Yeah, things are kind of starting to fall apart a little bit here for Lucky Spike. He can sort of bounce back a little bit here with Bloody Sickle on the Black Watch, and then Hellcat kill one of the Avengers. That will cost him 5 credits, and he'll have 5 credits left, and he can play the first rifles, or he could try to parade something.
Yeah, I would assume he plays the first rifles here. Yep. Probably wants to parade and do some of that stuff next turn. Really,
the thing with having 2 Avengers is you kill one, but the other one, still takes out your unit.
Yep. And this is the first time in this game that Darkness has given Lucky Spike an Avenger target on his side, outside of the East Surrey Regiment, right? But even then, he plays them together. So now there's 2 targets, or 3 targets even, that are above 5 HP. So playing the Avenger isn't even that efficient from Lucky Spike. A lot of rifles, but it's not going to help you too much against the bombers.
Wow, yeah, just looking here to see what he could possibly do. I mean,
you
can
definitely
rifles.
You definitely don't want to play a naked Avenger there. I think that was his only play, playing those 2 rifles. Oof, and that's gonna bump the cost for all the cards in Lucky Spike's hand up by 1, continuing to punish his economy.
Wow, yeah, and that's the thing with the first rifles. It's a great guard, a great infantry, basically endless. The only thing is, if your opponent can just stay on top of them and keep killing them, or they just go right over the top with bombers. And the fact that they're infantry, they move slowly, and you're never going to be able to outrun a bomber with those guys.
Yeah, and they're having to use both of those rifles to shoot down, to kill that bomber in the front line. It means that he's not able to put pressure on the board and push anything up either. The Avenger takes out East Surrey Regiment. That's pretty good for him, but Darkness just draws another one.
Oh wow, yeah. I was gonna say that at least frees up. It gets rid of the guard, so it gives a free attack on the Hellcat there into the Liberator.
Yeah, but top decking another East Surrey Regiment means that he's not able to do that either. Getting the Engineer out, after turn 12, that's probably not when you want to be getting it out. He's got a 9 credit Avenger. Because of those attacks to the HQ from the Liberator there, the Hellcat is now 5 credits, so it's going to cost him 7 if he wants to push it forward and attack with it. I'm guessing Darkness just keeps going face here. Just does 12 damage to face. Well, actually, he's probably going to trade out the Avenger. Yep.
And that shows the power of the Liberator, because if the Liberator was not in this game, he could have played Avenger and plus Hellcat, run it up, and kill Darkness's Avenger all in the same turn. But with the increased cost, there's no chance.
Yeah. Opting to just instead go for board control instead of pushing the damage to the face and using the Liberator to increase the cost of the cards in hand even more. I mean, you gotta feel bad for Lucky Spike holding on to that 7 credit Bloody Sickle.
Wow.
I mean, you gotta be in truly desperate situation where spending 7 credits for 1 damage and a draw is worth it.
So the airborne can at least take out the lightning. He can Ural. What can he get? Oh, another infantry. Not good.
Yeah, and it's on the wrong side, so the guard will not help him either. And I mean, let's be real. You might look at that board and be like, well, those number 1 commandos don't look that scary for darkness. They are. If they hit anything, it dies. You know, it's like, oh, and there's another Lancaster.
Second Lancaster off of Her Majesty's Chosen. Wow. So the Chaika, at least the Chaika can block the bomber offensive for maybe 1 turn. Because he'll have to attack the bombers into the fighters before he can hit HQ.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing he'll just attack the Avenger into the... Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. It spawns another one. Opting to guard his units there over the headquarter, and he attacked the commando? Is that not weird?
Well, the thing is, what else can he do here, you know? He has an 8 cost sickle. Again, the cost just going up and up. Now it's at a 9 cost bloody sickle.
So from my perspective, if he had not attacked that commando last turn and instead forced Darkness to use that 1 credit to attack, Darkness would not have enough credit to attack with the Lancaster at the end of his turn. So, you know, just the knockoff effect on attacking that commando means that he just gave up a really free trade and spent his own credits without forcing Darkness to spend his, and took an additional 5 damage to face, and all his cards cost 1 more just because, you know, he decided to attack with that card.
Yeah, that's right. That's an interesting point you bring up there. Again, it's like this dance of, you know, you want to have your opponent use their resources to trade into your stuff on your turn, right? Which leaves your resources open to add more pressure to the board, kind of taxing your opponent's credits, so to speak. And here, man, I mean, the Joseph Stalin is great, but it's too late, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like it's also really difficult to sit here and say that Lucky Spike should have known that or should have played things differently, because he doesn't see, you know, the cards in Darkness's hands, right? He doesn't know what he has and what he's able to play next turn. So for him, might have well made a lot of sense to trade against that number 1 commando. But, you know, knowing what we know, we saw that it didn't really work out. And dude, there's an 11 cost bloody sickle. Can we get it to 12? Yes.
I think, that's a record. Yeah, 12 and then 13.
13 cost bloody sickle. If you're in a game where you can't use your bloody sickle without using a ramp card, you done goofed.
GG there.
GG to both players. Unfortunately for Lucky Spike there, his Soviet deck not working out against either of the decks there from Darkness, neither the US deck or his British deck. So yeah, we can go back to that bracket if we want. Take a look at that. There we can see 2-0 Darkness over Lucky Spike. Darkness really, you know, showing that he's there with the veteran tournament experience. First one moving on into our grand finals. Our second semifinal is going to be between Gaga 0922 and Terror DE. What are these guys bringing, Blue?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's we'll take a look at We'll take a look at Terror's decks first if we can. So Britain and Germany looks to be banned here.
Yeah.
So it's just looking at that ban deck very quickly. It's a draw denial. It has Wolfpack, discard effects, MI5, Black Watch to increase the cost of your opponent's cards, and also Commonwealth. So Gaga did not want to play against that deck. And then now
Yep.
we have so the two remaining decks that we're going to see today. So the USA Brit is it's looking to be kind of a standard issue ramp deck with some interesting kind of early game tech choices with double patrol, double awoken giant, and again seeing Hellcats in ramp as well is interesting. I don't know. I've never put the Hellcats in my iterations of ramp, but it is a nice counter to things like Avenger.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I quite like the Hellcat. I feel like it's situational, but more often than not, I tend to get some value out of it.
And then just looking at what do we have here? Germany and Britain is going to be okay. Here we go. So again, this is a discard heavy deck with Annihilation, Admiral Hipper, Panther A, Wolfpack, FW 190s, and Honeys, Careless Tox, Bismarck, Tiger H, Comet. So it seems to be just the game plan: kill or discard all your opponent's units, and then close out the game with like a repeatable damage source with like the Comet, or a very hard to kill big unit like a Tiger H.
Yeah, I think I've played a very similar deck to this one, and if you're not able to really get a grip on the board and get this game, in firm control in the first 5 turns, you just lose. You just end up with no cards in your hand without being able to do really anything because you're being draw denied, you're discarding, and it's just really, really tough to deal with. I think it's super interesting to see that these new names that we're seeing in this tournament are bringing these more innovative, newer types of decks that we've been seeing a little bit more on the ladder, kind of nearing the end of the season, but we've never seen in a tournament setting before.
That's right. Yeah, and I have seen this discard deck running around ladder, and it can be frustrating to play against. Definitely, it's very much taps out your resources and then just goes for the kill with a big finisher. But I'd be excited to see how it does in the tournament format. And so why don't we just move on to the opponent's decks here? We have Gaga 0922. So Soviet USA is going to be what's banned here. And so just looking at the ban deck very quickly, it's a token deck by the looks of it. So it has 554th Rifles, 321st Rifle Regiment, your standard 4 Bloody Sickles, reserves, 109th Combat Engineers. But then it also has more of a top end where it's running Avengers, the KV-1 Naval Brigade, and the Yak-9 in a token deck.
That's interesting.
A very interesting blend of like a Soviet mid with tokens.
I could definitely see it working. You can get a lot of kind of units out on the board, put on a lot of pressure, especially with that alliance in hand. I can see that working, but we're not going to see it in this matchup that has been banned.
Yeah, so if we take a look at Britain and USA here, man, so it's looking like, okay, this is a very cool looking deck. So it's running things like the Empire Strikes with Avengers, Flying Fortresses, Swordfish, Precision Bombing. So this is like a very bomber heavy deck with AoE, with Carpet Bomb and Empire Strikes. Finest Hour to give your bombers +2/+2 in Blitz, or well, any air unit really. So this is like an air control deck. Very cool to see.
Yeah, I'm really interested in seeing this one being played. Dude, I'm actually just super excited for this next matchup. I think we're gonna see like a lot of really cool decks and a lot of really cool games. An enemy spotted for some card draw there. Um, only running one direct hit. Um, but with those 3 precision bombings, with that 2 Empire Strikes and a carpet bombing, he does have considerable AOE control in this deck.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one secret operatives is interesting pick too. It's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of unexpected. I don't think a lot of people will play around secret operatives.
I mean, I feel like secret operatives is there to be played to protect, once you've buffed your target. I think it's like I feel like this deck runs on like a very few things that are going to be, you want to keep alive for a little bit. Pretty interesting here to see the 5th Brigade over the East Surrey Regiment, though, because I feel like we've seen, pretty much all of the 5th Brigade being played just change over to the East Surrey Regiment, but maybe it's just a little bit too slow for this deck.
It could be, yeah, it could be. The 5th Brigade, yeah, again, it can come down a turn earlier. It doesn't have the +1/+1 that the East Array does, but against some really hyper aggressive matchups, you want that guard on turn 2. You really can't wait one more turn.
Yeah. Well, I think we're just no. We have one more deck to review, right? We have the U.S. Britain deck that we can quickly go through as well.
Oh, sure, yeah. So yeah, so just going over this one, I'm seeing 1 direct hit, which is an interesting tech card. If you expect to see a lot of maybe Japan, German aggro with 0 operation cost units, and he's running air defense and counter strike as 2 countermeasures.
Interesting.
And 1 torpedo attack, 1 Black Widow, gunship missions, albacore, and war bonds. So it's like a bomber. It's like a bomber ramp sort of hybrid deck.
Yeah, he's got the fortification. No, the precision bombings and the Empire Strikes in there as well. 4 Awoken Giants. Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, I would not want to be running an aggro deck against this list. That's for sure. It seems to be very heavily teched to beat German aggro.
Well, that's awesome. I can't wait to see these matches play out. I think these are probably some of the kind of more innovative and new deck lists that we're going to be seeing facing off against each other. So whenever we are ready, I'm ready. Are you ready, Blue?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, and we are now loading into the first match between Gaga0922 and Terror DE. This is our second semifinals. The winner of this series is going to make it on to the finals where they will face Darkness, and the winner will take home $500.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, they're playing for some big money here, and who knows, maybe they're feeling the nerves. Maybe they're totally cool, but a lot on the line here for sure.
Really interesting. Gaga didn't play that Swordfish Bomber turn 1. Do you know why that would be?
Well, I feel like Gaga's kind of in between a rock and a hard place here, because knowing that the opponent is playing Germany, he's probably going to assume that the opponent has Flame Panzer, right? So maybe he's holding that back, try to tease out a Flame Panzer with something else, and then save the Swordfish for either like play it with an Empire Strikes for a larger AoE damage, or save it and plus using the Blitz card that gives +2/+2 to an air unit. So I understand. I totally understand that.
Okay.
I'm trying to play around Flame Panzer.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely makes sense. That Jazzco not surviving for very long, though. Terror DE just taking it out right away and playing that Careless Talk. Gaga going for the war bonds, not playing any units, ramping up. I wonder what we're gonna see
Ooh, I
here now.
wonder. Yeah, I wonder. So he's not going for the wolf pack. I'm guessing the way you play wolf pack is you wait until your opponent maybe has like 2 cards left in their hand and try to hit their most important cards versus something random like a direct hit that is not really worth it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Really good top deck there for Gaga, getting that Seaborn Invasion, being able to just play that card, really relieve the pressure. But here we go. Now we're past turn 5. We're about to start seeing the draw denial come out of Terra DE, and I think it's really bad news for Gaga that Terra was able to get out those 2 honeys and that Surrey regiment without being kind of answered already. Because he has the Annihilation in hand. He has the Wolf Pack. Yeah, he has a lot of ways to make Gaga's life really miserable right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And decided not to go for the Annihilation on the 3/7 there either. Like, really, he seems to be like he's holding back all of his discard until Gaga just has less cards in hand.
Yeah, it looks like he really wants to be able to get like a board clear type of situation where he exactly finds the value there for the Careless Talk. He's able to absorb a little damage, but now, yeah, Black Widow comes out. I would expect this to, yeah, be annihilated.
That's a prime target there. Yeah. Too bad Gaga didn't have his 1 secret operatives there. That would have been a blowout.
Yeah. That really sucks. Torpedo giving him some options to deal with the front line, but not really any high value targets that you want to spend your credits on there. Interesting that, you know, Gaga only spent 1 credit that turn. And now Wolfpack. There we go. Now it begins. The Wolfpack just happened. There's no draw. Now he needs to play a card. There's going to be a Panther that comes out next turn that's going to prevent him from drawing again. He only attacked with 1 unit there. Doesn't play anything else. No more cards for you, my friend. This is rough. And the Comet coming in. I'd pick up the Comet here just to accelerate my damage curve.
Yeah, Comet, just the repeatable damage, you know, it's an air blitz for 6 every turn, right? If he moves that Panther A to the front line, the torpedo effect would be, or torpedo attack would be good there. But instead going for the guaranteed kill on it with the Avenger. But the Comet is just going to take care of that, no problem.
Well, I guess if we want to look at the bright side for Gaga here, he gets to draw a card this turn, so that probably feels really good. And finding a B-17 is pretty decent. Choosing not to play it, though.
That's great. Didn't play it. Wow. Did not play it. Comet does 3 damage plus 1 from the honey. Does not kill the B-17. Yeah, I wonder what the train of thought there is to not play it.
Because now he gets hit with the Careless Talks.
Yeah, now gets hit with the Careless Talk. He could Comet. Another Wolfpack off the top is just devastating there.
Yep.
Too bad it didn't hit the direct hit, which seems like a dead card in this matchup.
And that just, you know, this really, really hurts to watch for Gaga. He's not drawing a card here either. I mean, I guess he has to retreat that honey. But this is really, really difficult to deal with. And I think this is going to be a deck that we see entering the meta more and more in the coming weeks. Just because of how effective it is once you get past that turn 4 or 5. Which you're able to do pretty comfortably, you know, using the honeys and the Eastery regiments.
Yeah, and he has double sudden strike just sitting in his hand, doing nothing. I think, yeah, even if this was against an aggro matchup, I think Terror would be in a great spot here. Plus, he has the root out the enemy too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's so hard that if you don't have, a lot of card draw in your hand, so that against this deck, you're basically able to play a card that allows you to draw every single turn, you're going to get stuck. And you're either going to have to hope that you banked enough HP in the first 5 turns of the game to survive until the other guy's all out of draw denial, um, or you just kind of lose.
Yeah, absolutely. You need some sort of repeatable draw engine to get past the Wolf Pack into Annihilation into Panther A. Um, Very strong performance with that deck so far. I'm impressed, really.
Yeah, I think that was an excellent game from Terra DE, and having seen him, compete in the Nations Cup and now making it this far, I think we definitely can pretty safely say that Terra DE is a top contender in the competitive scene in cards, and I would expect to see him in the Officer Club Championships not too far away, in the not too far away future.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
But yeah, I think let's just jump into game number 2 between Gaga0922 and Terror DE.
So it looks like Terra's going with the ramp deck here.
Yeah, US versus US.
I'm so happy with how popular ramp has become, kind of after these previous tournaments here, the Officer Club Championship. I love it. It's definitely my favorite sort of style to play, and I'm glad that everyone's kind of taken ramp and sort of made it their own.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing a lot of diversity in the ramp decks, which I think is always fun.
So turn 2 Commando here is nice, can kind of help hold the field here. It trades up against the first Marines that Gaga just played. And now the question is, does he move up the Commando? I think I would. I mean, I think for me, that's a fine trade.
Yeah.
A 1-3 into a 3-4.
Yeah, I think I would have pushed it up as well, wanting to try and kind of keep Gaga away from developing the board for free. War Bonds there coming in at the great time for Terror, already up to 7 credits. This is starting to look pretty dangerous. And there's a gunship mission. Ooh, okay. Gaga playing out that Black Widow.
But the Seaborn Invasion off the top, it's got to be the play. And, imagine if Terror gets like 2 5-5s here, I think the game's like over.
Yeah.
We'll see what he gets. So he gets a 2-2 and a 4-4. Okay. I would give that probably a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to see some other units pop up there. I guess the 4-4 is okay, but pretty efficient trade there for the Black Widow if he chooses to, and the 2-2 really just giving Gaga a free draw there with the Wookiee Giant. Opting now to, spend his credit to push the first Marines up into the front line. Maybe that's what Terror was looking for, just kind of banking on Gaga using more of his resources to close the distance. Excellent turn there for Terror, keeping that Commando alive as well.
Yeah, so I'm guessing then that's why Terror did not move up the Commando initially, was he was just waiting to draw a we can do it and make it into a 1-6 that destroys any unit that takes damage from it. Yeah, very, very smart play there by Terror.
I feel like whenever we watch high level cards, it's that discipline, it's that holding out, waiting for it, really reading the game and doing things at the right time that separates the the best players from the rest of the pack.
Hmm. Yeah, it's really like knowing um, what cards are in your deck, and thinking about it as you're planning out your turns, and thinking, okay, how can I set myself up so if I draw a weaken do it, I'm going to get max value. Um, and yeah, and that's just something that's learned over time and with a lot of practice and memorizing your deck.
Yeah, I really like seeing these guys trading units back and forth with the deployment effects. The B-17 coming out, destroying a unit for terror, and then being destroyed right back with the Avenger. Um,
Ooh.
oh, interception! So, do you know what? I think if anybody is starting to feel, like, I don't know if I'm having as much fun in cards as I used to. I kind of want to freshen up my deck. I want to try something new. Just add some interceptions into your deck, and then feel really good when they counter a bunch of orders for 1 credit. It's just gonna make you feel good. If you ever want to de-tilt in cards, just play a deck that has 4 interceptions in it. It'll give you a little joy.
Yes. And squish those ants. That gives me
Yep.
a lot of joy.
I mean, intercepting like a Commonwealth, I've seen that happen. It's happened to me. God, I've never been so sad in my life.
Oh, the counter strike killing the huge Avenger.
Yeah, you talked about it. Both the air defense and the counter strike. He's also is that a from the deep? No. What is that countermeasure that he has active right now?
Is that a no? It's not
Oh
a.
no. Oh, it's a
Oh,
delayed
I think
feed.
it was
Yeah.
delayed. It was yeah, it was delayed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another interception here from Terror. 417 though on the Issa Rae. That's going to be hard to deal with. Albacore looks like can pin for 1 turn.
Wait, did Terra forget to attack with the Isuri in the last turn? I think so.
It looks like he did on the feed because I could see the lightning bolt next to the Isuri.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then he probably didn't. I probably just missed it.
Because I think he hit it into the B-17, which took off 3 hit points.
No, he ran he ran a carpet bomb.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I was wondering. He probably hit something else. But yeah, finding that carpet bomb, perfect time as well. He also has 13 credits right now, so he can push the Pershing up into the front line in a single turn. But Gaga, nowhere near down and out. Terror doesn't have a ton of pressure in its hand.
No, his hand is pretty bad right now with the double Awoken Giants. Gaga, though, it's still a lot of air from them as well. Okay, strategic bombing is nice.
Yeah.
Can
So
take 3 off of the Pershing.
So keep in mind the hand feed for Gaga is a little bit delayed, so we are getting that with a slight delay. You see, he still has the strategic bombing in hand, for instance. Air defense, not enough to kill it. He was that's what he was doing. He was really hoping that he would attack with the Pershing first. The air defense would have killed the Pershing then.
Yes, yep, but Terror plays around it. That's on his radar for sure.
Yeah. But that's really good presence of mind for Gaga to try and bait him into that. And playing out that B-17 hits the right target, but Terror finding the Grenadier cards and the Hellcat to answer this right back, really putting the pressure now on Gaga. B-17, not a bad draw. I wonder if that's the turn before. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that is the turn before. Avenger coming out this time around. It's going to get traded by the Hellcat immediately afterwards, but...
Yeah, I'm just trying to look and see what outs that Gaga has here. I mean, high altitude bombing would be a good top deck, It'd be a good way to start to claw back this game.
Yeah, if he would get a high altitude bombing and it would hit the front 2 targets, he would be able to slow this game down a lot. As we say that, terror.
High altitude terror.
Yeah, but he ends the game as
GG.
well. The 101st Airborne deployment effect being enough damage to, finish this game off 2-0.
Wow, nice job with Terror. Excellent performance. Really cool to see that discard deck and just finish it up with Ram. So we have our finalists, Darkness and Terror.
Darkness versus Terror, and I gotta say, I've been extremely impressed. I was extremely impressed with the play coming from Terror in that matchup. I'm also impressed with his decks. He's bringing kind of different decks from Darkness, so I am extremely excited to see that finals matchup, because I honestly don't know which direction is it going to go. Is it going to be the tournament veteran? Is it going to be the guy that's really climbing the ranks at the moment and participating in all these tournaments and doing really good in them? I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah, and it is going to be a German final. Both these guys are on the same team together, and so it's congratulations to the German team overall.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. When we did the first World Championship, we had 2 players from Sweden. We haven't had a representative from Sweden in quite a while in the top. So looks like Germany is taking over at the top of cards. But you're here casting with me, Blue. Why aren't you in the finals?
That's right. No, I'm really enjoying myself casting with you and watching these games. So it's happy to be here.
All right. Yeah. And with that, we will take a quick break before we head into the finals. So we're going to be right back, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Who do you think is going to take it? Is it going to be Darkness, or is it going to be Terror DE? Find out just after this. And we are back. I hope you all enjoyed all the action so far, but what we have in front of us is the pinnacle moment of the day. It is the grand finals of this first ever Cards Open, the first ever 1939 games officially sponsored tournament, open to everyone with a cash prize. First of many, let's say. But before we jump into the action, with me as always is Blue Blast. What are you looking forward to in this final matchup?
Well, I'm looking forward to see which German will reign supreme today. But no, really, these are two great players. Of course, Darkness, legendary ladder player, tournament player, has just been a top player for the longest time in this game, and then having Terror coming in as a little bit more of an unknown, had a great performance in the Nations Cup, fellow teammate. So we'll see who reigns supreme today. I'm really looking forward to if we're gonna see some German decks today.
Yeah, this would
Some
be interesting.
face smashing decks.
So people with really good eyes that are watching the stream can see that we have the score there for the third place match between Lucky Spike and Gaga 0922. Unfortunately, we won't be bringing that game to you today. Because of just time constraints, but we congratulate Gaga 0922 for his exceptional performance in this first ever Cards Open and making it into third place. But now it's time to get into the finals. It's time to start looking at the decks, the deck bans, and yeah, watch the matches. I'm really excited for that. So let's start by looking at what Darkness is going to be bringing to the table. Or Terror, that's fine. Darkness.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Darkness. Woo. Darkness, Terror, Darkness. Woo. Okay. All right, Darkness. So again, second time we've seen people not ban Darkness's Germany deck.
Yeah, that's playing with fire, definitely. Just the Germany USA deck is just dominant. Has been all month, and different iterations of the deck have been dominant for the month before that and before that. Boy, but I'm looking forward to see it though. I want to see a good steamrolling.
Well, I mean, what I'm looking forward to is if if that was left open, I feel like there's a reason for it, right? And Terror was one of those guys that had a deck that we expect could beat a really aggro deck, right? So
Yeah,
I feel like this is probably a strategy. I wonder if that's something that Terra just embarked into the tournament thinking about. It's like, I'm going to bring two decks that are really good against aggro, and because I know I'm going to be facing Germany at some point.
yeah, I think that's very right there. Yeah, kind of hedging your bets against Germany here. If Terror is going to bring like the Brit German deck, he has Honeys,
Let's look
he
at
has Black Watch.
Terror. Let's look at Terror. So, yeah, you see, Darkness, sticking to it, banning out the German deck.
Yep, I think that's correct. Really. So yeah, with Brit Germany, that's going to be a Commonwealth deck that. But it's not as much of a Commonwealth deck that has. It doesn't have a lot of early game ways to kind of deal. I mean, it has Honey, it has Black Watch, and it has Albacores, and that's pretty much it. There's no Issa Rays, no Fifth Brigades, or anything like that. So that might be tough if Terror goes with the Brit Germany deck first, and Darkness runs his Germany USA deck. Otherwise, if we're looking at USA and Brit, that one's going to be a little bit better for him because he has the double Awoken Giant, he has the double Patrol, he can do like War Machine into a turn 3 P40, and he has two of the Issa Rae and two Black Watch. So that would be the best pick if you're going to assume Darkness is going to play Germany first.
Yeah.
If I was Terror, I would definitely play USA first.
Yeah, it's gonna be very very interesting to see, and for everybody that is watching, thank you so much for tuning in. We're up to 122 viewers. We appreciate it, and to all the participants, thank you so much for participating, and congratulations to everybody that made it into the top 8. And for those that have already secured themselves third place or higher, I would say, just making it to the top 8 is already an achievement. So everybody in the top 8 should be extremely proud. But with that being said, it's time to find out who's actually going to reign supreme. Who's going to be the winner of this whole thing? Is it going to be the veteran Darkness, or is it going to be the newcomer that's still been slinging it out on the tournament circuit a little bit, Terror DE? Let's jump into the first match of this grand finals between Darkness and Terror. Dude, they're called Darkness and Terror. It's like the most ominous
Right.
final that we could get.
Horrifying.
Who's gonna win, Darkness or Terror?
Oh man. So it looks like Terror it went for the USA German deck. Okay. But Darkness didn't go for German aggro. He went for his kind of like mid-rangey control Brit USA deck.
Yeah, and I think he probably did that knowing that Terror would expect him to bring the German deck first. So I think we saw some he knows that I know, but he doesn't know that I know that he knows kind of stuff going on there.
It's hedging your bets. Okay. So Eridu into the tactical strike here. It's a good pickup. Can if he decides not to move the commando, can be a nice answer.
Would you play the Albacore here, get it out, and pin the commando, or would you wait?
I mean, the commando has smoke screen, so even if you pin it for a turn, you won't be able to like ping it down with the Albacore. I don't know. I guess I would say no. For me personally, I think maybe wait and hold it for something that's maybe a bigger unit that you could pin down for a turn.
That's a pretty good turn for him. Having these 2 tactical strikes in hand as well is a huge benefit, because he's able to deal with that honey right as it comes out, which I think is pretty important.
Oh yeah, double honey, but instead going for the wolf pack with 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand for Darkness. So Terror just kind of taking a gamble on that. Hope he hits something good, and hitting the Avenger was pretty huge.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're looking to build a deck that plays against that we can do it, just takes the honeys out of the tactical strike range. That was actually huge for Darkness.
Huge, yeah.
But if you're looking to play against decks that have a lot of discard or draw denial, you want a ton of cards that replace themselves in your hand. Just like that, we can do it. And Darkness having the we can do it in hand really made this turn for him way better than it almost could have been with any other cards in hand. He was able to kind of keep control of his board, solidify his presence there, as well as draw another card and keep his card flow going.
Yeah, and it looks like a little mistake here from Terror. He tactical strike the honey that was a 2/5, and then just didn't do anything after that. So maybe forgetting that it was buffed for a second, or
Possibly, or he was looking to, hope that Darkness would maybe play it, or it would lose smokescreen or something. I'm not entirely sure. Doesn't really have a good target to attack with that Arado either, unless he just wants it to die. And this is one of those situations where I would just pass my turn and instead have the opponent spend credits killing that Arado.
you're definitely right about that. And a big alliance coming out of here for Darkness.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting. So he's choosing to run alliance over something like a Rule Britannia in his deck.
Yeah.
which is interesting. Um, I kind of like it. It's half the cost, right? It does a similar effect.
But look at how, look at how tough this is. That we can do it, plus the alliance meant that that carpet bomb did next to nothing.
Oh yeah, absolutely nothing. Man, we can do it has just been a total powerhouse of a card this whole top 8.
Yep, absolutely. Um, Decent trades coming in there. Only real unit that he could play there would be the Sexton. I don't think we're gonna see that coming out now.
Oh, really? I think I would have played Sexton there, pinned down the 4/4. The 3/1 bomber can't kill it, and then you can keep it pinned and shoot down the bomber the turn after.
Good point. And I think, this is a board. Ooh, the Monty, that's a really, really good top deck for him. Being able to play the Monty, draw the card, and probably play the Panther.
So Black Watch for nothing. I would still play the but now the thing is, since he didn't play the Sexton the turn before, now it just gets countered by Darkness's Lancaster.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder if it would have made more sense to like play the Panther A and then tactical strike the Pioneer. But I think in any case, Terror is already in a pretty rough spot here. With how this game is played out so far, and losing that, losing that Sexton is not going to help it. But at least he had that tactical strike in hand for the Lancaster.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see, what could Terror draw here to kind of help him get out of this spot. Oh, so the air power is coming down on the Panther. Really efficient, 2 credits with the Pioneer. Just destroys the tank.
I actually put air powers in my commando deck after seeing your commando deck, because it is really, really effective as a removal.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to ladder, because there's so much German tank, kind of fast Heinz on ladder. To have a efficient answer for a big tank is real nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many tanks that are really difficult to deal with because they're just huge, right?
Wow, yeah. So that's second alliance from Darkness has sealed the deal here in this first finals match.
I think that's gonna be it. I think I think there's very, very little that Terra can do to get back into this game at this point. This was really well played by Darkness, but I think you hit the nail on the head a little bit earlier. When you called out a couple of the misplays from Terra there, I think it's really easy to spot them when we see the cards in both players' hands. I think it's a lot easier to kind of know if that was a misplay or not. But yeah, really well played by Darkness, and I think we're actually gonna we're gonna see the German deck from Darkness, and we're gonna see it into the US deck. So I guess that's a matchup that we really want to see.
Really want to see that, yeah.
I would be very surprised if Terra brings the British deck again, knowing what he's about to go up against.
Right, at least Terror has the slight advantage of knowing for sure what deck is coming next, right?
Yeah.
And saving the kind of, it seems to be like an anti-aggro USA deck. That was a smart move, although he lost the first game. So, but then he'll have a chance if he wins this one for game 3.
Yeah, but in the end, he'll have to beat Darkness's German deck with this British deck, which I think is going to be pretty difficult. But I think let's not sit around and wait. Let's just jump into the game. I really want to see this. No, Terra brought the British deck again.
Oh wow.
I guess we were just completely wrong, Blue.
I mean, I'm just looking at the differences in the deck list here, and yeah, I mean, you're looking just the differences in early game removal. The USA deck has the Woken Giants, Patrol, Issa Rays, Black Watches, and War Machines to ramp on turn 2 to get to your guards sooner. And with the Brit German deck, it really have nothing in the form of early game stuff. They have 2 Issa Rays and just the honeys, and that's it. Interesting.
Really interesting. And as we see the cards that pile into Darkness's hands there, finding that Panzer 2A there, getting the 10th Engineers out, Adler in hand as well. Isn't that, yeah, it's an Adler. You can get his draw out next turn as well.
Oh wow, yeah. So going for the safe play there with, because he could have Adlered and played the 22,
yeah,
and then get hit in for 2 damage with the free operation cost. But he's deciding to hold back Adler for now.
I think that's a smart play. He knows that Terror's running tactical strikes, and he wants to probably do it so that he can get more value out of the Adler play within the single turn. Choosing to play his other draw engine card there in the back line, picking up 2 cards at the end of that turn. Blackwatch hits absolutely nothing. There's no orders in the hands for Darkness. I guess the only benefit and the kind of plus side for Terra here is that he does have 10 HP protecting his HQ.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the combined health of both guard units, he's essentially at 32. But man, Darkness already just with the dominating board presence, and Terror is 5, 6, 7, like 3 turns away from a carpet bomb.
Yeah, and he does not have a really good way to deal with this. I mean, yeah, taking out the Adler is good. Getting rid of the 10th, again, good. Took a lot of damage off the board there and reinstated some of the cost for Darkness, but...
Ooh, fast times in the hand for Darkness as well.
Ooh.
Additional 6 damage in the front line. +2/+1 to everything. It's like a mini blitzkrieg, but it's permanent.
Yeah, and look at that frontline pressure right now from Darkness. He's got what, 7, 10. He's got 14 damage in the front line right now. And what is Terra to do here, right? He can play that.
He needed a Monty here. Or he needed a shelling of some kind. Yeah, shelling or Monty, pretty much.
I think it's going to be lethal next turn for Darkness. He has the SD set in his hand. He has the Panzer, as well as infantry on board. He might be a little bit short on credits, but he's not going to be that far off.
5 and 4 is 9, 1, 2.
Yeah, he needed 1 credit for the joint op to end it, I think. No, he would have been 1 off.
Yeah, he needs 1 more.
Yeah, he would have needed 2 credits so that he could play the Arado and joint op.
So even if Terror top decked, say, a carpet bomb here and cleared the board, Darkness has, well, he has another Panzer 35T to blitz in for lethal and a joint op.
Yeah. And I think that's game. A
Wow.
Fast and decisive 2-0 victory from Darkness there in the finals, showing that it's definitely not coincidence or chance that he finds himself in the finals of all these tournaments and is constantly posting these results. Exceptionally played tournament by Darkness. Terror really impressing though. I would have absolutely loved to have seen that US deck against that German deck in the finals, but really promising kind of start to his competitive career here in cards, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more from Terror in the future.
Yeah, just an absolutely great performance from everybody in the top eight. You know, starting with over 200 participants, making it through the 8 rounds of Swiss, and dominating the top eight here. Darkness with the victory. Congratulations to him and everybody for making top eight. Huge achievement within itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, that was our final match of this first ever Cards Open, the first tournament with a cash prize that's open to everyone. I've had a blast following the tournament so far, and had a blast casting today. Thank you so much for casting with me, Blue. It's been fantastic.
Oh, it's been great. Yeah, thank you for having me on. You know, despite the technical issues, we powered through it. But no, it was a lot of fun, and congrats again to the winner, and thank you for everybody watching on Twitch and Steam and YouTube and Facebook, and everybody for tuning in. Shout out to the cards community, and yeah, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, I really hope that we will see an even bigger field for the next Cards Open. That, well, I need to go probably tomorrow and sit down with 983 Media and talk about when we're gonna do this again. But I would expect to do it again in. Somebody just joined our call, and just ruined all the layout for the webcams. That's pretty good. Um, but in any case, we're gonna be doing this again soon. If everything works out properly, I'd want to do one at the end of August as well. So for everybody that's watching and thinking, I need to get my cards competition on, definitely stay tuned and keep an eye out for an announcement of that from myself, from 1939 Games, from 983 Media. I want to thank you all for participating and tuning into this broadcast. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing this to you. Keep on going, keep on grinding, play those cards, and we'll see you in the next tournament.
Take care, guys.